The Backstreet Boys, they've got it going on and they make awesome music. I remember as a kid hearing their songs for the first time, and then a couple of days later my parents buy me their first CD and I was so excited to hear some Backstreet Boys songs and have their CD. And the next thing you know, I'm buying more CDs. They make a big comeback album almost a decade later, and I get that. And they're still making albums, and then they reunite again and make new CDs now. I mean, these guys were just awesome. I remember as a kid in the second grade, there was a girl in class who said to me, "Ew, the Backstreet Boys are stupid." A couple days later, that same girl said to me, "Who's your favorite Backstreet Boy? Is it Nick?" And I said, AJ. AJ is my favorite. And she said, "My favorite's Nick. I have a poster of Nick in my room." That's second grade for you. Later down the line, my favorite became Brian. But nowadays, who do I pick as my favorite now? Maybe back to AJ, or maybe they're all equals now. Now, back in the 90s and in the early 2000s, there were other competitor bands with the Backstreet Boys. There was the main one, NSYNC. They had some cool hit songs too, like Bye Bye Bye, and their last song was the best one. Would you be my girl? Especially the one with Nelly. You know, and then there was 98 Degrees. And 98 Degrees had some cool hit songs like Just the Way You Want Me To. Nick Lachey had some cool solo songs in between the time, and he brought the group back together, and they're still making some new songs now. One band that doesn't get enough credit is the lad band from the UK, Five. Yes, remember that song, When the Lights Go Out? Baby, when the lights go out, every single word could not express. In the US, they were only known for that hit song, and all their other songs were still released in the US, but none of them hit as well as When the Lights Go Out. In the UK, they were making hit after hit after hit with If You're Getting Down, Baby, I Want It Now, Baby. Life ain't anything alone, can't you see? You're an angel in my eyes every day. You're closer to me. You look at the Backstreet Boys. Then you look at NSYNC, you look at 98 Degrees, and then you look at Five like, whoa, you don't mess with Five. These are five bad boys. And they made awesome music. It's too bad they had so much trouble behind the scenes, though, because their music was amazing. And like NSYNC, they split up abruptly. And even though they've made reunion shows nowadays, they still can't do a reunion with all five of them, which is a shame because they are five bad boys with the power to rock you, blowing your mind, so you gotta get into. Which segues us right back to the Backstreet Boys. What makes these guys great is the fact that they've been able to stick together. They've supported each other through all their troubles. When AJ was having his arrests and rehab, the boys didn't tell him, "Look, you're getting in too much trouble. We can't have you in the group anymore." They didn't say that. They knew that AJ needed them as much as they needed AJ, so they helped him out. And now they've stuck together, like a family. They've learned to work with each other through their aging and vocal changes, and they still consistently make great music. I mean, that's awesome, and that perfectly establishes them as a vocal harmony group. A childhood dream came true for me in 2010. I had a ticket to a Backstreet Boys concert. I still got the ticket right here. And, man, this was awesome. I got to Atlantic City. I was still months away from turning 21, so I couldn't gamble while I was there. But I got to see them in concert for the first time. Best concert ever. This is an old photo from an old phone I had at the time, but that's Mindless Behavior performing as the opener before the Backstreet Boys stepped on. Little did I know Mindless Behavior would go on to gain some fame after this show. And some people criticized the Backstreet Boys concert, while me, I did a whole video talking about my Backstreet Boys t-shirt. It was only my second video I ever did for that YouTube channel, if you followed me since the beginning. And I had to say, I can't criticize it at all. This was the best concert I've ever been to. The Backstreet Boys can put on any songs they want in any order they'd like, and it is going to be an awesome show. I was also inspired a couple months later to do that music video, weird comedic thing that I did for YouTube when I covered their song Shattered. In 2015, I had a pass for Comic-Con, and I looked at the Comic-Con schedule, and there was a panel where Nick and AJ were going to be there to talk about their new TV movie that they were doing for the Sci-Fi Channel the next year. When I saw that Nick and AJ were going to be at Comic-Con, I thought, wow, okay, 5 years before I got to see them in concert. Now I have a chance to meet them. The answer to our life. So, when I got to Comic-Con, I get to that panel room early to assure that I have a seat and assure that I'll have a chance to speak with them. Now, I took this photo myself. There's two producers at the far end there. On the other end, there's Nick Carter's wife. There's Nick Carter. There's AJ. And there's Joey from NSYNC. Yeah, Joey from NSYNC with Nick and AJ of the Backstreet Boys. What a surprise, huh? Now, I got in line to ask him a question when Q&A started. I was the first in line. I was the only guy in line. They were not embarrassed by that at all. I asked them a question similar to the one I asked to Zachary Levi a couple days later, which I talked about in an older video. I asked them if they had career goals outside of music. And AJ said that before music, he was interested in theater. And Nick built off of that and said that he loved Westerns growing up, and he loved horror movies, and his fame in music has allowed him and the others to branch out of that into other fields, like the TV movie that they would release the next year. If you saw that TV movie, it was called Dead Seven. It was a zombie Western that featured them and a couple other boy band members. It was terrible, but they did a song for that movie at the end. In the end, I don't want to see you fall apart. Listen to that song, it's awesome. I definitely feel inspired by this group nowadays. The fact that they're still making hit songs, they've released 2 hits this year. We're pumping into the holiday season, so we're going to put on their Christmas songs, as well as the other boy band Christmas songs that we like to listen to at this time of year. And I'm definitely inspired by them to keep practicing my scene, because I want to work in, because I am totally down for working in other fields as well, multiple fields of media. Some people ask me, how could you be so excited to meet celebrities? You know, like they're just people like you and me. When I hear that, I say, oh, you people, can't you see how your love affect me on reality? Every time we're down, you can make it right, and that makes you larger than life.